A month has passed since the criminal investigation into Mason Greenwood dropped, and a lot of people are wondering what will happen in the next stage of his life. Well, the well-known news website, The Athletic, has published a very interesting and thought-provoking article which dives into what has happened in the last month or so, and it also sheds light on Mason Greenwood's situation. We're going to walk through the article together in this video, and I'll be providing our insights as well. I should mention that this article somehow confirms a lot of things we've been reporting to you guys on the channel recently, so I suggest you guys stay tuned until the end of this video. So let's first recap what has happened. Greenwood, who has not played for United since he was arrested in January 2022, subsequently faced a police investigation, but charges against him for attempted rape, assault, and controlling and coercive behavior were discontinued by the Crown Prosecution Service in early February. All three counts are related to the same complainant, who is not identified in the Athletic's reporting because under UK law, she is entitled to stay anonymous. It is interesting though that a lot of the quotes that you will be hearing in the article are confirmed by the Athletics, where they claim they have a clear identification of the sources and individuals they have been in contact with. Upon the discontinuation of the charges, the CPS said, and I quote, "A combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material that come to light meant there was no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. While the criminal case may be over, Greenwood's future as a footballer for United remains in the balance, with the club currently conducting its own investigation as they seek to build a full picture of the events that led to a complaint being made against him last year. This has involved Manchester United representatives meeting with Mason Greenwood." The article also claims that a month after launching the investigation, the option of reintroducing Greenwood to the club's first-team squad as part of a possible phased return to football does remain firmly under consideration, but club sources insist no decision has yet been taken, and it is one of the several options, including a parting of the ways, that remains possible. Under the scenario Greenwood stays, United would be likely to follow a phased process, taking into account the sentiment of fan groups, sponsors, and the women's team at differing stages. It would include encouraging Greenwood to receive a form of consulting or therapy ahead of a possible broader rehabilitation. So this is something that we have also covered on the channel previously, where we talked about the fact that considering everything that Greenwood has been through, his mentality is going to be key if the player wants to succeed in his career. It has also been suggested that such an approach may also include exposing Greenwood to a television interview in which his challenge on the events that have taken him to this point. Basically, in the grand scheme of things, Manchester United will consider to give the player an opportunity to redeem himself and share his perspective of everything that has happened, and hopefully get rid of the baggage that is following him currently and restart his career with a clean slate. The Athletic claims that their sources have also added how, in the event the club decides to bring Greenwood back, United may seek to frame him as a young man who has made mistakes and is remorseful for his actions, while also believing they have a responsibility to rehabilitate a player who has been on the club's books since the age of 6. United sources counter that they would only present the player in this way if they consider it to be the truth on the basis of their internal findings. So it is extremely important for Manchester United heads that everything remains truthful and honest, which is great to hear. United declined to comment when approached for this report by Athletic, other than pointing to the club's statement last night in which they said, and I quote, "The club will now conduct its own process before determining the next steps. We will not make any further comments until the process is complete." Last weekend, the Sun news website reported Greenwood is to become a father after his partner became pregnant. This follows previous reports in the same newspaper that Greenwood has reached out to Manchester United teammates, including a meeting with former academy players and messages sent to senior United players on social media, all of which offers the impression of Greenwood attempting to bring more stability to his life. This is something that we have also covered on the channel previously. While Manchester United declined to comment formally, club sources insisted there are no active discussions with broadcasters. They also said it is premature to say the club is at this stage leaning one way or another while the quote-unquote process is ongoing. As such, the prospect of severing ties also also remains. So it basically means that nothing has been firmly decided yet, and Manchester United will wait for the end of their internal investigations, and after that, when they have taken everything into account and they feel ready, they will announce their final verdict to the public. The reason why they have come out and said this is because there are lots of rumors out there that have no basically foot in reality. What is thought-provoking to us though is that they have added that any ultimate decision after the findings will be taken by the club's co-owner Joe Glazer and chief executive Richard Arnold. This can be true as long as United remain under the ownership of the Glazer family, with the club currently considering offers from Jim Ratcliffe's group and Sheikh Jassim of Qatar, while minority investment or alternative financing models remain a possibility too. So this shouldn't shock anyone. It is interesting how Greenwood's case has somehow crossed fate with decision of the new Manchester United owner. The article continues and says United are conscious of the brittleness of any rehabilitation plan for Greenwood given the volatility of the past year. Many within the club are also aware that restoring the player to their setup may take a sledgehammer to their reputation. So a lot of people are somehow worried how people will take and understand their side of the story if they decide to back Greenwood up. That's why a lot of the players are not sure if he has to come back to the club or not, because they're basically afraid of what will happen to them and how people will react to them, which is totally understandable. Although United were unable to conduct any kind of internal process while Greenwood remained under criminal investigation, the club did not completely cut communication with the players' representatives during that time. For example, the club sent security personnel to assist Greenwood's parents during the players' bail hearing at Manchester court. The Athletic has previously reported that some members of Manchester United women's team feel deeply uneasy about the prospect of Greenwood returning to men's first team, given that he has not been cleared, while others are more circumspect, waiting to hear the findings of United's process. The Athletic also claims that a source has reached out to them in early February and said, and I quote, "I don't think he should play again for Manchester United. They need to make a statement, and letting him back would be the worst thing they could do. It would set out our club back in terms of what we were trying to do with our women's team and campaigns like Her Game 2, which are trying to encourage women to play and watch football. I just don't want to see him training. I don't want to see him in a United kit. I don't want to see him ever coming out at Old Trafford again." Of course, this is a quote from a personnel of Manchester United's women's team. This part of the article also confirms another video on the channel where we covered how some of the Manchester United players are torn whether Greenwood should return to the club or not, which you can check out right here. So all in all, Greenwood's situation is of complications and nothing has been decided firmly yet. We will be bringing the latest Manchester United news and updates to you guys, so consider subscribing to the channel and leave a like on this video if you found it informative. Share comments with us about Greenwood's situation in the comment section. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end of this video, and I will talk to you guys in the upcoming videos. Take care of yourself.